A reading from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, beginning at the first verse. Now when Jesus saw the crowds, he went up on a mountainside and sat down. His disciples came to him, and he began to teach them. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you and persecute you and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven, for in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. One of the things that I sometimes miss about the north of England, having grown up there, are those wonderful northern national parks. Northumbria, the Yorkshire Dales, the North York Moors, the Lake District and the Peak District. I can still well remember the feeling of smug satisfaction that I had when I and two friends successfully climbed the three Yorkshire peaks of Ingleborough, Whernside and Pen-y-Ghent, all in the same day. And if you're going to really experience and explore the national parks, something that's almost essential is a really good guidebook. And one of the most famous sets of guidebooks are those to the Lakeland Fells, written by Alfred Wainwright in the 1950s. And the thing that's most striking about Wainwright's guides, apart from his beautiful hand-drawn pencil sketches, is his sheer attention to detail with which he seems to describe each and every little aspect of every pathway. And it's this attention to detail which I think gave confidence and inspiration to a whole new generation of walkers to really go out there and really explore the fells all throughout the 1950s and 60s and 70s, and indeed up to this very day. Today is All Saints Sunday, and in a funny kind of way, the saints are people who have done something a bit similar to Alfred Wainwright. The saints have laid out the paths ahead of us. They've put down markers on those paths. They've travelled ahead of us, a huge, great host of them. And the saints have shown us what ordinary human beings like you and me really can achieve when we avail ourselves of the grace of God. They've set an example of determination, of dedication, of sacrifice. Christians have always turned to the example of the saints. And some of the saints, they seem to have hit the target straight away. But so many others fell. They stumbled. They blundered their way along, seemingly quite clumsily, before finally getting it right. But something they all have in common is that they've all expanded the possibilities of human love and of human courage. And those examples are not confined to those famous saints that we can all call to mind. All around us, in our time, in 2023, there are men and there are women whose own stories guide us, inspire us, strengthen us, goad us on our journey. People in whom the two great commandments, love God and love our neighbour, have been joined to an extraordinary degree. And we draw encouragement and we draw inspiration from these men and women who have gone before us, and a little bit like Wainwright, they've blazed a trail. They've made that path a bit easier for us up the fell side. And when we experience weariness, when we experience a sense of failure, of futility, it's like they're there. It's like they're saying to us, come on, we're with you. Don't give up. And sadly, there's a tendency to put the saints on such a high, exalted pedestal that we feel justified in excusing ourselves from even trying to imitate them. We think, how can I be like them? They're saints. And in this case, devotion to the saints does seem to become more of a hindrance than a help. Because you see, the saints serve as models for us precisely because they were sinners. They were just like you and me. The saints are wonderful reminders of just what life is all about. They inspire us, they guide us, they encourage us, and most of all, they give us hope. But they can't do it in our place. And nor will the saints provide us with the shortcuts and ways of evading the hard slog and the narrow road. We cannot expect others to do for us what we cannot discipline ourselves to do. We ourselves have to walk that path. We have to make the journey. But the saints, they can and they will help us to dare to start out on that journey.